Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and today we're taking a look at this week's Sunday preview. We're also going to be doing the official prices. This video is sponsored by CMO Games. More on that later. Sunday preview, Kill Team Termination and Lilith Hesperex. They're just two products coming to pre-order next Saturday, but they're both huge deals. So there is a little video, but we're just going to jump in and take a look at the actual article. Alright, so right off the bat, we have the new Kill Team expansion, Termination. This was originally shown off and announced at Adepticon, and now it's interesting that it's going up for pre-order already. The last Kill Team set, Kill Team Nightmare, went up for pre-order less than 2 weeks ago. So we basically had like a January release, an end of March release, and now we're getting an end of May release. So rather than these being like quarterly box sets, which is what was intended and what has previously been done, they're basically coming out about 2 months apart. So I don't know if that means Games Workshop just had these ready to go sooner than expected, and they needed something to put out this week because the pre-orders are very, very sparse. Or if they're trying to push these out every 2 months because they have been selling well and they're pretty popular, they're nice little deals. But regardless, it is very interesting to see them out already. We've been vacationing on Beta Decima for a while now, and despite the attractive beachfront atmosphere, the other holiday makers have been all but a touch belligerent. 2 more groups have arrived to soak up the atmosphere, and they're already at each other's throats. This box contains 2 full kill teams, the Hernkin Jaegers, Hardy Scouts from the Leagues of Votann, and the Genestealer Cult's Brood Brothers. The first of these is an all-new unit using new sprues, while the second force is made of an existing Cadian infantry frames with new Brood Brothers upgrade parts, plus some other existing miniatures from the Genestealer Cult's range. So we basically have a brand new box of Votann, which is nice because they'll get 40k rules, probably some sort of like scout or infiltration rules, which is going to be nice to help fill out the Votann range. The models look good. They are definitely cool. You get 10 in the box set and everything is brand new. And then we also have the Genestealer Cults. So essentially we have a couple of boxes combined here and then an upgrade frame. So these are the Astra Militarum, like basic troopers. And then the upgrade frame turns the majority of those into basically Genestealer Cultists, using some random bits for like the specialists and stuff like that. And then we also have a little character pack as well that is currently in the range. Obviously Patriarch model is really nice. The Thralls are cool, but basically just tokens now. And then we have the other 2 characters, including the Old Magus, which are both nice as well. You also get an 88-page rulebook containing lore and rules for both teams, plus new missions and other additional rules, as well as 2 complete token sheets for both factions, 2 sets of data cards for individual operatives, 2 decks of assets, tactical ploys, and strategic ploys, and 2 transfer sheets containing hundreds of decals for each faction. There's also some new terrain pieces, 2 Termination Plasma Generatoriums. So definitely a cool new box right here. We've been seeing essentially 1 new kill team, some new terrain pieces, 1 old set of miniatures, and then an upgrade frame to make them into a kill team. But overall, the value of the models in the box set is pretty nice. Definitely a lot more value on the Genestealer Cult side. Even though they're older models, the upgrade frame has a little bit of value. And overall, if you total them all up, the actual value of the miniatures is more than the box set itself. So obviously we saw a price increase from Salvation and Nightmare, 130 up to 140. And now this is the first set with the new price increase officially in effect. So Games Workshop has this box set at $145 or 170 Canadian. So definitely on the pricey side, considering that there was already a jump from 130 to 140, but only a $5 jump on top of that, which is roughly around like that 3 to 4% Games Workshop had advertised for the new price increases. And I have to say, I'll still be picking this box set up. The book is cool because those sell on their own for 50 bucks. The tokens and cards are only available in this set. Obviously, the terrain will be available at some point in time as well. But overall, this box set has about $200 worth of stuff in it. So even at $145, you're still getting about a 25% discount, which is definitely what Games Workshop is trending towards. So while I do think this is a nice box set, a lot of people are excited for it, and we have seen all the Kill Team boxes selling out relatively quickly, I don't see why this would be any different. I'm not sure why it's kind of like rushed out on that 2-month time frame, but if you factor in the overall value at MSRP and you get it from a nice little discount, I think this is a good box. I'll definitely be picking up 1 or 2 myself, but not going to go crazy on this one. I do really like all the models inside, and I think this is a fun set. You will still need the core rules and a lot of the other game aids to play the game. But at $145, I think it's fairly reasonable, considering Games Workshop's other prices. And I definitely think it's going to be popular, because it is cool new models. It is a great expansion for the Votann range. And then also a pretty good jumping off point if you wanted to start a larger Genestealer Cults army as well. I think the new terrain pieces are pretty cool, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing the rules. But it is a little curious of the hurried schedule that we're seeing for Kill Team suddenly. Maybe it's because they're selling out pretty good, so Games Workshop is jumping on the opportunity to make and sell more of them. But it is interesting that we're not seeing the Warcry set being released at the same time. In the past, Games Workshop has always put Warcry and Kill Team expansions together, and this is the first time we're seeing them diverge. Obviously, Warcry has not been that popular lately. It is not selling nearly as well, and most of those sets are still available in the store months later. We know there's a new Warcry set coming, so I would expect them to get that out in the next couple weeks. But it is worth note that this is the first time we're seeing them separate from each other. Now a quick message from today's sponsor. CMO Games has been selling Games Workshop products online for over 20 years. They carry the full line of Games Workshop products, including Warhammer 40,000, Age of Sigmar, Necromunda, Blood Bowl, paint tools, and more. Almost all Games Workshop products are priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games takes pre-orders for most Games Workshop products released at their earliest date possible. 12:01 a.m. on Saturday, they go live. Most of these pre-order products are also priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games offer free shipping in the US 48 with an order of $50 or more. Their customer service is top-notch and they ship most orders within 24 hours. Visit CMOGames.com using the affiliate link in the description and let them know that you heard about CMO Games from Warhammer Man. Now back to the video. And then the only other release we have coming out this week is the new Lilith Hasselbrecht's Queen of Knives limited edition. So this is a new Drukhari book focused in on Lilith, the Queen of the Witches, an awesome miniature, an awesome backstory, and this is a super cool cover. I love the art. The greatest gladiator in the dark city of Camaro has had enough. Lilith Hasselbrecht is one of the finest duelists in the galaxy and a deadly assassin beyond compare. Set out from her behinged home alongside a coterie of mysterious Ynnari death cultists in Mike Brooks' new novel, Lilith Hasselbrecht, Queen of Knives. So again, beautiful art right here. This is the limited edition copy, so signed by Mike Brooks. Obviously, they put a little bit of extra love into the actual quality of these books, and they are definitely collector's items. This novel is available first in lavish limited edition release this Saturday, with an especially dark and dramatic cover embossed with red foil lettering on the spine and rear. Each copy is signed by the author and appended with afterword, and includes a full-color illustration of Lilith inside the cover. So it doesn't specifically say in the article how many of these are available, but we can see in the picture here that it is XXXX of 2,000. So they're making 2,000 of these. Typically in the past with the character books, limited edition signed copies, we've seen more often than not that they only do 1,500. So there's definitely an extra 500 of these being made. I don't know if that's going to actually like tap into the rarity. Drukhari are not all that popular as far as factions are concerned, but they're definitely cool. Lilith is a very notable character amongst the actual range, with basically her and Drazar being at the top of the list. So I do think this will be popular. I'm not sure how well it's going to sell, especially with an extra 500 copies on the market. A 33% increase in supply is definitely going to satiate the demand. But most of these limited edition signed copies do sell out relatively quickly. And we do see that Games Workshop has actually kind of dropped the price on this. It's only being sold at $65 USD or $80 Canadian. It doesn't look like it's a particularly like short book or small book or anything like that relative. But a lot of these have been coming out at $75 or $85 recently. So maybe Games Workshop has upped the supply a little bit, decreased the actual price a bit, and maybe that'll make it appealing to a more broad audience. And hopefully this is a trend we see in the future. Games Workshop has been really focused on like the scarcity aspect, and essentially by undersupplying the market, creating excess demand and driving up prices. So this is the first time we're kind of seeing that trend reverse, and hopefully it's the beginning of something good from Games Workshop, because lately it's been a lot of bad publicity. It is also interesting with the new price increases going into effect that this is priced lower than most of the stuff we've seen in the past. So I'm not ready to jump in all excited, high five them, and give them a pat on the back right away. Hopefully this product does well, and then Games Workshop in the future will trend more towards increasing supply and lowering prices to a more reasonable rate. And there's definitely an argument to be made that with the exception of a couple of like outliers, super popular books, that these limited edition signed copies have not been selling particularly well. Most of them have not sold out immediately and been available for weeks or months at a time after release. So maybe the writing is on the wall and Games Workshop is adapting. And honestly, I think that's the best thing for the hobby, for the gamers, for the customers. But definitely a cool book. I'll probably be picking this one up myself as I am a fan of the Drukhari. And I think Lilith has a super cool backstory. And I'd love to know more. So like I said, not a lot on the new release list this week. We see a small increase on the price for Termination, the new Kill Team set, and actually a little decrease on the Lilith novel. So we'll see how the supply is on Termination, if it lasts a little bit longer than a couple of minutes like the last couple box sets. And then also in the next like week or two, hopefully we'll see that Warcry set rolling out as well, as that was loaded up with a bunch of beautiful models, and I'm definitely excited to pick that up. It is interesting though to see them not released together. So obviously though, we see there's only 2 releases this week and one is a book. So clearly either something is missing or Games Workshop is just rushing out Termination to kind of fill that gap. But considering we've had like multiple big box sets coming out in 1 week at a time recently, to suddenly have only 2 total items coming out from them is an interesting change and definitely worth note. So let me know if you're excited for Termination or if you're planning on picking up the new Lilith book. Always like to hear back from you guys in the comments. Special thanks to CMO Games for sponsoring the channel. Check out the link in the description to grab up Termination at 15% off with free shipping. That's it for today. Warhammer Man Studios, I'm Warhammer Man, and I'm out of here.